Alright, to get us started here, I already factored out that pi over 4 to get this set up nicely. So this number 3 tells us the amplitude is 3. This pi over 4 lets us use the 2 pi over b, keep, change, flip, and we end up with 8 as our period. This tells us that we are going right right 2 units, and then the midline is that plus 0, so midline is the y equals 0 here. Now to do this graph, we know this is sine graph, so it starts out at the midline. However, it's shifted right 2 units, so you can think of the graph as starting here, and with a period of 8, it will go from 2 over to 10. Remember that with a sine graph, it goes up, hits the midline halfway through, here at 6, and it goes down back up. Amplitude is 3, so we'll hit a maximum value of 3 halfway between those 2 points, and minimum value halfway between 6 and 10 there. So we're going to have a nice curve, up, down, and back up. Next, find an equation for the function graphed here. Now the reason why many different answers are possible is because this could be a sine graph, it could be a cosine graph. We noticed earlier that a cosine graph is basically just a sine graph that's shifted over. Now that we know how to shift graphs left and right, it's possible to write an equation for the same graph as a sine or as a cosine. So if we think of this graph as a sine graph, then it would be going through this midline halfway through. Now if we think of this as a sine graph, then we could see that the graph starts right here and goes to here for a period. This would be a y equals, this is going to be an amplitude of 1, 2, 3, 3 sine of blah, blah, blah. See, the midline is down at -2, so it'll be minus 2 at the end, so it'll be x. Now, notice that instead of starting on the y-axis, the graph starts left half of a unit. So that means that we would have a plus half here. Next thing that we've got is we need to know what our b is. Now let's remember that 2 pi over b gets us the period. See, the period is 6 units here. So multiply both sides by b, and then divide by 6. 2 pi over 6, which is pi over 3. So this would be pi over 3. Now we could think of the same graph as a cosine graph. Instead of starting here and here, put it in blue, it would start here and then go to here. We'd have to do a translation of right 1 unit instead of going left half unit. So basically all this would be the same, except this would be a cosine here, and this would be a minus 1 there. Next up, scrolling down. We need to write 2 equations. Try to do them relatively quickly. So we see that there's going to be a midline of -6. Y equals -6. And minus 6 at the end. It's reflected about the x-axis, so we're going to have a negative sign in front of the amplitude number of 3. It's a shift of pi over 3 to the left, going left, so that's plus pi over 3 there. Next, the period is going to be 6. So 2 pi over our b number is 6. Multiply both sides by b, divide by 6, and b is going to be pi over 3, just like it was in the previous one. So there's a pi over 3 in both spots there. Next one, we've got a midline of y equals 2. Don't know why it did that. So it goes. Hopefully it looks like that on your screen too. Jumping over to the left like that. Plus 2 there. Shift of 4 to the right means that we're going to go minus 4 there. Amplitude is 5. And our period is 2 pi over 3. So to find our b, we've got 2 pi over b equals our period. 2 pi over 3. In order for these two fractions to be the same, this b number needs to be a 3, just like it is over here. And so that b would be 3. Alright, and that's what we got for today. See you in class.